Hey there, it looks like the camera's on. Welcome back. Today is the 19th of March. I'm doing this pretty early in the morning. The newsletter is starting to come out, so you guys should be getting that. Changed the format a little bit, but we'll talk a little more about that a little later in the video. I make this video pretty much raw, so what you get is what you get. I try to provide information. I'm not sure if it's really entertainment, but it's more about providing information that empowers you to make the right decisions if and when you're ready to sell, if and when you are ready to do something real estate related, even mortgage wise. So this one specifically is for Discovery Hills, Discovery Meadows area and the surrounding areas. So if you have a home there, I welcome you to this video broadcast, and we're going to talk a little bit about the market. So I have a lot of people coming up to me and always asking me, how is the market? And it always starts the same way. The market's pretty much pivots off rates, right? Rates go up, things slow down, rates go down, sometimes it speed up. At the same time, when rates go down, people think they're going to go down further, and they kind of hold, right? And they wait. And sometimes they wait too long and the rates start going back up. So one thing I want to tell you, it's very difficult to be able to time the market, period. If you're trying to time the market, you're being foolish. There's no way you're going to do it with all the knowledge I have after 23 years of doing this. I can see some signs, I can make some adjustments, but it's impossible. Too many things happen all the time. So the first thing I like to do, if I can here, is introduce myself. My name is Leo Orzhel, and if you don't know me already, I sell San Marcos and North County area properties. Been doing this for about 23 years. And one thing that we are known for is the fact that we sell properties in a way that is most advantageous for the sellers, right? Just a shameless plug for myself, and you can look it up yourself. You can go to in72.com, get some more information there, but we're all about creating demand. So before I get into the market, and I'll touch on it a little later after, there's a supply and demand equation. It's always been there. It's always going to be there. Supply is whatever number of properties there on the market, and going to be fluctuate and will fluctuate month to month. Demand is what we work on. We're able to create synthetic demand for your property to get more people to come, to create an event at your property and do it really in a short window. Because when your property goes on the market, you have a very short, what I refer to, golden window of opportunity. If you don't take advantage of that, the market will take advantage of you. So more on that later, but let's go ahead and snap to the information. So mortgage rates have been kind of going up. Let me just bring it up here, guys. Okay, so this is the current mortgage rate, 6.2%. Average is about there. As you can see here, they have been kind of floating back up, right? And we're going to have that time to time, right? People think rates are going to go down to 2%. And to be perfectly honest, you guys are really smoking some stuff you should stop smoking. The only way something like this is going to happen is we have some kind of a disaster, some kind of an emergency that happens in the market, like during COVID, for example, or during the financial crisis of 2009, 10, etc. So the rates were artificially low to kind of prop up the market, real estate market that was faltering. At this point, if you're looking for something, mortgage rates to come down, and you've been sitting on your hands and waiting for things to happen, let me bring myself back here. I want you to know you're being foolish, right? By the time you save up a little more money and you wait another year or two, prices are going to be higher, and you're going to be behind. When people talk to me about buying a house, I always have the same philosophy that I share with them, and the philosophy is really simple. Get on the train. Wherever you can jump on the train, jump on it. When you're on a train, you can move from one cabin to another to a little more luxurious and such. However, if you're not on a train, you're always going to be chasing after the train. And it's a really losing proposition. You're not going to time the market. It's not going to happen. Now, if you are going to be buying, and this is specifically for people who are maybe looking to sell and buy, if you're looking to buy, you should have somewhat of a longer runway. To me, you should be there 5 to 7 years at least, because things can happen, right? Price can go down. We can have some kind of a deflation. We can have all kinds of events that can happen. that will affect price. So if you're buying a house, make sure you can stay there, or at least find out or figure out if there's plan B, meaning that can you rent it out and still keep afloat, right? Because it's true. It's always a good time to buy a property. It's always a good time to buy real estate because it is, it's an asset. As we inflate, or as our government inflates dollars away, the assets are going to be worth more. So if you're holding cash, that cash is going to be worth less money or have less value, but assets will grow. That's why, people buy real estate and stocks and things like this, right? So ultimately, get on the train. Don't wait. If you're looking to buy something, I only work with a handful of buyers at a time sometimes because my focus is helping sellers. If you want to call me, we'll talk. We'll see if I can help you or not. All right. So let's go back to the rates. So here are the rates again. They're going up. And what does it mean? It means nothing. It means that normal fluctuations in the market, right? It has nothing to do with selling the property. It has nothing to do with buying the property unless you're going to make it an issue, right? It's just what it is. So what I want to talk to you about next. So if you saw my newsletter, if you haven't got it, you're going to get it pretty soon. I'm talking about the urban sprawl, right? The city of San Marcos is just expanding. I mean, just a little too much, too fast. Traffic, you see more horns going off. It's just becoming a little bit insane at times. More e-bikes, more of this. It just, like I said, it's more apartments. It's just getting a little dense. So a lot of people have been calling, complaining to me and telling me, this is, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And ultimately it's up to you, right? I know a lot of you guys are stuck in a home that you bought maybe 15 years ago or 20 years ago. But as I mentioned in the newsletter, there's a Prop 19 that can be very beneficial for you because, like I said, a lot of people feel trapped in a home. They have a lot of equity, but what are they going to do? They're going to sell. They're going to buy somewhere else. They're going to have a bigger tax bill. They're going to have a mortgage. What's the option? So what I want to bring to you is the following. Prop 19 is very simple. Let me see if I can make an example for you. If you're 55 and over, you really should be very, very happy about that because I'm seeing people doing updates to their house and they're adding space. To me, it's a foolish thing to do because ultimately all you're doing when you're making a house or adding a room or adding something else to it, you really are, to me, adding a tumor to the house. And the reason for that, because the house you have, the kitchen, the other rooms are really scaled specifically for that square footage, for that footprint. When you add another room to the house, you just added space, but you did not compensate in the kitchen and in the master bath because people, when they buy a bigger house, they want bigger space overall, right? It has to be to scale. And when you're adding stuff, it doesn't make sense a lot of times. And it's very hard to sell those houses as well. I've seen people, make another bedroom in a house and they think they can get money for it and they're wrong. It's not going to happen. Most people are not open to that kind of stuff. So anyway, what I want to talk Prop 19. Prop 19, let's say you bought a house for $300,000 15 years ago, right? It's a 2-story house. You're older. Maybe you don't want to go up and down the stairs and you want to buy another house that maybe is a single story. It doesn't have to be as big, but the issue has always been the tax, right? If you sell your house and you buy another property, let's say for 1.2 million in San Marcos, your taxes are going to be probably close to about 14,000 or so a year. And now, because you're in a property that you bought 15 years ago for 300,000, you're probably only paying maybe 4 or 5,000. Significant difference in price, right? So the great news is this. If you sell your home right now, let's say you bought it for 300, and let's say you're going to sell it for $1 million, right? Just for easy math. So if you sell it for $1 million and then you buy another one for 1 million, or let's say 1.2 million, that's a single story, right? The only added tax that you're going to pay is going to be based on $200,000 difference that is based on your selling price of your property that you're selling and the ones you're buying. So what happens is you get to carry over your tax basis. And because you're able to carry over your tax basis, whatever you're paying for your property that you're selling, let's say it's $4,000, the only difference that's going to be added to the new property you're going to buy, the tax is going to be based on the $200,000 increase in value, right? So it's basically market value for yours that you're selling versus market value for the one you're buying. So it's an amazing feature, and it can save you lots of money. Now, if you're sold a house for $1 million and you want to have a smaller one that's a single story, your tax base does not change at all. So it's really a huge, huge win. So before you start adding, before you start doing something to the house, get a hold of me and we can talk about it a little more. So once again, it's a great benefit without having you to deal with construction and doing all those things that really are not going to matter a lot. So the whole idea of paying more taxes has been negated by just doing that. So Prop 19, very important if you are 55 plus. Like I said, if you want more information, feel free to connect with me and we can go through your numbers and kind of give you a better sense of what is what. Okay, so that's what I want to cover. What else? The market is decent. The market is good. Properties that are strategically priced, that I always say, go off the market and get sold pretty quickly. People who are, what's the word, being stupid and obviously hiring agents that tell them what they want to hear are going to suffer. You know, that I see this all over the place where we have houses on the market for 30, 40 days. And I know probably the agent at this point, blames the market. And really, who's to blame? Is it the seller? Well, both. Like I said, the agent should tell the seller the truth at a risk of not taking the listing. Because if you're taking the listing and this property is sitting in the market unsold, the seller suffers. Ultimately, they're probably going to get rid of you, get somebody else. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, when you put the home on the market, you should be ready to sell. You should have an understanding of the market, understanding what you can get on the market, and how time value component or time perceived value component affects you. Very, very important, right? So what else I want to talk about? Again, before you start doing any kind of work on your property, I see people doing all kinds of upgrades and this and that. You know what? If you're doing it for yourself, God bless you. Do what you want. You enjoy it. But if you're doing it specifically with some idea that at some point you're going to be getting some money back on that particular upgrade or whatever you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it without talking to someone that understands what is important when you sell the property, what things the buyers are looking for. Because I'm seeing people doing things that have no value. Now, what things do not impact value of the property? Sellers tell me to put a new roof on, or they tell me the water heater is new. Okay, guys, let's be realistic here. Okay, what house are you gonna sell with a bad roof or a leaky roof? Right? Everyone who buys a house wants a roof that does not leak. They want a water heater that works. Those are mechanical issues. You're just basically bringing your property to workable, right? Sustainable. So most people want money for that, and that's something that you cannot get return on. I'm going to tell you the truth. If you put a new water heater on, fantastic. Now we have hot water. What's the other option? Not having hot water? Same with the roof. If you have a leaky roof, I mean, what's your option? Leave the house with a leaky roof? I mean, okay, you can, but you're going to obviously get hit on price significantly, and you're going to have obviously some damage to deal with. So please be smart. And really what you need to work at and look at is, when I see people hiring agents, and I don't care if you hire me or not, that's up to you. It's your money, right? You do whatever you want with it. But when you hire an agent, like going to a doctor, when you go to a doctor, you want the doctor to tell you the truth, what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So if you have a problem, let's talk about it, right? Let's get right to it. If you, for example, want 1.5 for a house that's really 1.3, some agents will say, oh, okay, we'll try it at that price and see what happens. You don't benefit, okay? The agent is hoping that, the market will speak, and then they'll tell you, hey, the market has responded. We need to lower the price, and you're going to lower the price. But, I want you to understand, at this point, you're going to be chasing the market down. It's a very simple concept. Because the clock is working against you when you put the home on the market. Days in the market start to add. And ultimately, first impression is everything, right? Sorry, I say right a lot, but that's just the way it is. And if you stay in the market too long, you develop a stigma about your property. Even if there's nothing wrong, your perception has changed. Perception has shifted. Buyers already begin to wonder why you haven't sold, why nobody has given you an offer, right? And the pool of buyers, I explained to you, when you put the home on the market, there's a pool of buyers. Those are the people who are the most motivated people looking to buy. If that pool of buyer moves on, because that's what happens, it doesn't go, it just moves on to newer properties, you've already lost. Even if you drop the property 15, 20, 30,000, even if one of those buyers looks back, he's going to say, okay, well, maybe we can get him to drop another 15 or 30. What do they have to lose, right? It's not they're going to lose the deal. They're not afraid of losing out. So you're going to say, no, big deal. Now, if you have multiple offers, if you are first week in a market, right? The way we do it in 72, we get everybody in at the same time. Saturday, Sunday, hour and a half, hour and a half. We create urgency. We create this competition between the buyers. We do all this because we try to affect the perception, number one, because everybody wants what everybody else wants. Everybody wants what they can't have. And we're trying to create this competition between the buyers, right? We're trying to affect the demand. That's exactly what we do. And we create urgency. And at that point, it's a different situation versus being 2-3 weeks into it. Most people are going to find something wrong with the property, even if there's nothing wrong. Don't be a dummy. That's all I'm going to say, right? It just be smart about what you're doing, because I'm seeing people losing tens of thousands of dollars. I'm looking at this stuff. I'm like, okay, all right. So they think they saved. They went with whatever Finn or somebody else. They saved. Okay, they saved. They think they saved $6,000 or $10,000. Let's go $10,000 on commission, but then they lost $40,000-$50,000 on a sale. How does that make sense? It does not make any sense at all. So let's jump. I want to just jump and cover some of the listings that are on the market and have sold, so you can kind of take a look. So I'm going to close on that. Before I go there, again, please take a look at N72, in72.com. The program is very simple, but not easy. A lot of people try to do it and they fail, because the way we do it, we get a chance to see what the market reaction is going to be before we even hit the market, right? So it becomes a benefit. We cheat a little bit because we can see in front of going live. So it's a huge situation. Also, you need to understand we only do 3 of those a month, and a lot of times we're booked, a couple of months in advance. So we do have not cancellation but postponements because things change. So if you want to sell your home, you want to contact me earlier. Let's talk about it. Let's set things up. Let's look at the schedule and see what works best for you, because everything we do in the process is really hands-on. Now, do you have to do it this way? No, we can do conventional if you like. Some people, I don't know why they want to do conventional. You want to sit in the market, you can sit in the market. You can have people come and show the property whenever they want to show the property, or you can take control of the market. But we can do it either way. Whatever you're comfortable with will serve you in the best way possible. But let's go ahead, jump to the market. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. As you can see, there's about two properties that are listed right now. Current listing that's specifically in Discovery Hills, Discovery Meadows, right? We got Echo Lane on the market, $1,550,000 on the market for about 19 days. We have Honeysuckle that was on the market for 9 days, but it looks like it's under contract, which really all it means is somebody took a contingent offer. That's all it is, right? We have one pending on Apple Wild, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,467 square feet. 7 days in the market. Like I said, they probably hit the bullseye. They're going to be at least at this price, maybe a little higher, but at least this price if things are done correctly. Via Veracruz, 34 days in the market, and you can always, like I said, when you go over about 10 days, you're going to be chasing the market down. I'm not sure how many times I have to tell you, but I guess you don't have to listen to me. It's your money, as I say, right? You do as you like. So original price was $1,529,000. They dropped to the $1,489,000. It's an 1122 Veracruz. Likely it will close, I assume slightly less, but that brings me to another thing. Okay. You see the pictures, right? Lovely pictures. I mean, lovely, right? You got twilight and you have all this wonderful things. And this is what brings me to another point. Let me just bring myself in really quick. The point I'm trying to bring in, as agents, we offer tools. We offer photography, and we talk drones, and we offer this and that. All those tools are great. But the bottom line is, it's not the tools, it's the agent who's using them. Just like a surgeon, right? Surgeons have different outcomes. It's not the tools they use, because most of them have the same tools, the same training. It's the approach, the strategy. It's things you cannot really grab. touch. They have something, they understand something, and they take a slightly different approach. So you need to understand it's not about twilight pictures. It's not about drone photography. It's not about, video tours, because ultimately you want to get the people in, and there's better ways to get people in than all this crap. Because yeah, do I take great pictures? Yeah, we have photographers coming out, we have videos, we have all this. But when I do this understanding that none of that is really as important as is the strategy. So I just want to stop on that really quick. Let's go back to here. So we have another one here. Via Veracruz is pending. Let's see. I got some that are kind of late. So start here. Via Veracruz 1048 sold 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2467 square feet, right? And if you look at it, it's the same one as right here. No, I apologize. It is not the same. But this one looks like was on the market for $1,350,000, and it sold for $1,242,000. Now, also, if you look at days in the market, we have 97 days in the market, and I don't want to click on it, but I can tell you 350, 250, so 100,000. There's probably giveaways as well. Like I said, there's probably buyer credit. There's all kinds of things that happens behind where you do not see it, or I don't see it. But I want you to see the time is killer of value, right? Another one on SEMA, sold in 4 days. 1030 SEMA Drive, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1983 square feet. Original price $1,150,000, and it sold for $1,100,000. Now, I'm not going to make any comments on that. I would assume it's the only offer that came in, and when you're dealing with one offer, you don't have a lot of leverage, right? And that's why we always, number one thing is to create multiple offers, whatever we do, because now the buyers are not dealing or haggling with you as a seller. The buyers are haggling amongst themselves, and that's really important. Anyway, I'm kind of going over the top. If you are looking to sell, you want to find out what your home is worth, obviously you can scan the QR code on the newsletter, but better yet, probably call me, let me stop by, take a look at it, give you some idea. I can't perfectly tell you what it is, but I can, like I said, because we use strategically, our plan is strategic. Also, what else I want to say here, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you're not selling, but you feel that someone else can share of this information, please do so as well. I think that's pretty much it. So don't forget, we can only 3 months. So if you're going to be selling the next 2-3 months, you need to contact me sooner versus later so we can sit down. We can put together a strategy plan and kind of plan things out. So when you go in the market, this is key. You can do it going full speed, right? You're going to hit, the rubber is going to hit the road going full speed. You're going to have full traction. So that's all. Thank you so much. Hopefully you got a lot of information out of this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.